listening to the voices behind Women's Cricket Chat. That's Hannah, Georgie, Cassie, Mahika and Alex. Coming up on today's podcast, we've got Harpreet Kalsi-Virdi. Now, for those of you who don't know, Harpreet is involved with the Dream Big Desi Women, and not only that, she is an award-winning ECB cricket coach and activator, and when she's not doing that, doing a whole host of things, improves the game. She's also an recreational officiating administrator. We talked to Harpreet about all things cricket, including taking her twin daughters to their first ever international match, meeting some of the Trent Rockets, and what it's like to take 24 kids through the process of cricket and how she really is impacting and making such a huge difference to the world of cricket.
Hello and welcome to this episode of Women's Cricket Chat. I am honoured to say that today we are joined by Harpreet Kalsi-Virdi, award-winning cricket coach and activator involved with everything Dream Big Desi Women, 2021 ECB Grassroots Cricket Award winner and nominated for Make a Difference at the BBC this year. So if you want to talk about making things happen, this is the woman for you. So you've got me, Georgie, today. Alongside me, you've got Alex and Harpreet. Welcome to the pod.
Thank you very much. Hi, everyone.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. I imagine you're a very busy human. As we were just discussing before this podcast, I went to a little private screening of a film yesterday, but you got too much going on. You're too busy to sit down and watch a film for 2.5 hours on a Monday afternoon. So what is going on with you at the moment? What are you up to?
So I've just been busy with work as I am the recreational administrator for the ECB. So it's been pretty heavy because I've been dealing with the pro game during the summer as well. Alongside that, coaching is a must, and I've completed 3 8-week blocks during the summer, and now we're just doing some smaller sort of 4-week courses for children around Nottingham. So yeah, it's been pretty hectic, as well as having my own 2 daughters as well. I've got twin daughters, so yeah, it's been pretty hectic juggling all of that and juggling everything around work to make everything fit in. But it's good. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it.
We all know about the struggles of balancing, perhaps not quite to the extent that you do with, twin daughters, coaching and the works. But I think probably a good place to start is what Georgie alluded to in the intro, was that you did win the ECB Grassroots Cricket Award last year. So just tell us a little bit about that. And was it a surprise to you to find out you'd got the award?
It was a major surprise. I was actually in London when I was told that I'd won. So I was down for the summer at my mum and dad's, and I got a phone call to say, we'd like to invite you to one of the games where you'll be picking up your award. I was like, my award? I was like, what do you mean? And then they said, you've won a grassroots award for, it was inspiration to play. And I was like, inspiration to play. I was like, where has this come from? They said, oh, because you took 24 girls through to cricket in Dynamos. And I was like, oh my God. Literally, I was blown away because I just did not expect it. So what a lovely surprise. Unfortunately, I couldn't go for the actual game because I had only just arrived in London. So they said, don't worry, you can pick it up when you're back in Nottingham. But yeah, I used to work at a school and where Dynamos first started. So when the 100 came along, they said we wanted to do an event to sort of promote it. So they did the flagship event at the school that I worked at. And in that, I signed up 24 girls to participate in the Dynamos, thinking that they'll only do it 1 or 2 weeks and then it's just going to drop off. They completed the whole 8-week course, and it was amazing to see how many girls had sort of not done any type of sport apart from PE, and that was it. But other than that, it was just amazing to see this development. So with that, because of how many girls were involved and to the point that they went through the whole sort of 8-week course, and for them to then at the end say, where can we find out about cricket clubs? We want to do more. It was amazing. So when the award came about, I was like, are you sure you've got the right person? And they're like, yes, we are sure we've got the right person. But an absolute honor to receive it. It was just such a lovely feeling knowing that I had changed a thought system in a young girl, and 24 at that. So that's how that came about. But yeah, just again, I'm really passionate when it comes to sort of giving back to the community. I've always tried to do something, but when I finally got into this and I was able to give that back, being a woman myself and knowing that when I was their age, I didn't really have that, because at school, PE, there were certain things. It was always like, you're going to play this, and then the boys would be like, oh no, but we're better than you, etc., etc. But to be able to tell these young girls that you can go forward in sport, it's not always about getting an education in sort of a professional career. You can always have a sporting career as well. So it was really nice to have that, and to see those sort of boundaries fall, because they'd only sort of seen certain aspects of life and not anything other than that. So what an absolute honor to do that, but then also the recognition for it as well. So yeah, it was really exciting to receive that, but I'm still blown away now. Like, I look at it and I just think, really, was that me?
And for you, it wasn't necessarily, you spent your whole childhood playing cricket, getting involved, doing everything here and there. I was looking at your, the ECB celebrating your award, and you said, you just played a bit with your cousins, and then it was actually seeing it on Harp's Core's Instagram that got you involved with the Dream Big. Could you imagine, like, just looking back at that and thinking, oh, it's just a quick Instagram thing, and now I am where I am? How did that all come about from there and just snowballed into everything it's come to now?
So again, like, I at school did This Girl Can, and I just used bits and pieces of that campaign to sort of make something happen at school. But when I saw the Instagram post on Harp's Cause, I thought, this is perfect. I thought, I can just add this in and then pick and choose what I need to do around it, not realizing that I would register, I would go forward and sort of like start volunteering. I just thought it's going to be a little thing. They're going to come to the school, they'll do all of that, and that's it. But literally, when I watched that promo, it just really ignited a further passion. Because like you said, I had only played cricket sort of with cousins as I was growing up. We'd go to the park, we'd play, or if we were at a cousin's house, we'd play, and that was it. Never watched it when I was growing up. As time went on, then when I got married, because my husband's an absolute fanatic of cricket, so joined on the bandwagon with that, but then didn't think anything else of it. So after seeing that promo, I thought, oh, I can incorporate something and then see what happens with that. But I never knew that it was going to blow up into this, and to actually become a coach and activator has just been amazing. And I thank Harps for that, because had her promo not sort of come up, because I follow her on Instagram, had that not come up, I would never have known, and I would have just carried on doing what I was doing. So it's actually been, I suppose, a bit of a life changer because of seeing that and then delivering of what I have. I carried on then the volunteering, thinking that it's just more experience for me, but just didn't think I would then become a qualified foundation level 1 coach. So it's been amazing, that journey, just coming out of something that was nothing, but it's now become such a big part of my life.
And you just mentioned there about the level 1 foundation coaching, and you never in your wildest dreams imagined, through the love of cricket, through the game of cricket that we all know and love, you've ended up where you are. Could you explain a little bit about the process of getting your foundation level 1 coaching and what it kind of means and where you hope to go forward with it?
So I started off the volunteering throughout the summer last year, and then my cricket mentor, who is Hina, she then said to me that there is a level 1 coaching course. Would you be interested? And I was like, what does it involve? She said, it's just a case of getting those skills at a level which you're able to deliver with confidence, because there was always that fear of not delivering correctly. Am I doing the right thing? You always worry if your delivery is good. Are the kids enjoying it? Are they engaged? So it was, I suppose, another sort of, knowledge for me. And I was like, yeah, I'll do it. And it was over two Sundays, and went down to Trent Bridge, did my coaching. And it was a real eye-opener, because they don't just teach you the basics of what you've got to teach to the children. There's other things that are attached to it in terms of safeguarding, emotional support, just generally being able to link your relationship to the child in terms of a coach and a child learning. And I think because of not actually being from a sporting background, it helped me a lot in terms of how to deliver and how to have that rapport with the children, which was really nice, because even though I worked in a school, you have that rapport, but then when it comes to sports and you're trying to teach something, it does take on a different role, especially depending on the age of the child, because with the cricket that I do, is all stars and dynamos. So all stars are the younger ones, and then dynamos is the older age. So I think in that respect, in terms of having to show sort of, okay, I'm coaching you, but I'm not going to press you, because it's all about fun for the younger ones. The older ones do take it seriously. So I think that coaching really helped, because then I was able to balance between the two ages, and understand the needs of both age groups. So I think in terms of the coaching, it's a really, really good thing to do. The coaches were brilliant, learning the new skills that I have, and I've been able to put it into practice, which I think has been just like, has been amazing, because I've not been able to have done this before. So stepping out of your comfort zone to do something that is new to you, but it's now become a passion, I'm really grateful that I was able to do it.
And you mention it like that, it's almost as if you get as much from it as the girls that are being coached.
Absolutely. I think it's because of not having that, not so much not having the chance, but myself not pushing myself enough when I was younger to do that. But now I'm able to express myself with the children and say to them that when it was my time, when I was your age, I didn't do these things, but if you're really serious about it, this is the steps that you can take, because we've got some really serious, like, boys and girls in the dynamos who are like, we want to like play red ball, and I'm like, you will get to that level eventually, but you need first the basics, and once you've got those basics, you then need to join a club. So I think as a coach, I'm now able to confidently say that, whereas before I wasn't sure how it worked. So I'm quite like, I'm proud of myself that I've grown in that sort of space of time, because of not knowing, and now I am able to advise the children and their parents that, look, if this is the next sort of route. I mean, I always take advice if I need to, if I'm not sure of something, but it's opened up a new world for me in terms of understanding the game more than anything.
And you mentioned that you didn't necessarily have those opportunities growing up. Do you think there's certain cultural associations with that? Do you find that something like Dream Big is obviously making such a difference for Desi women, and you now as a coach are showing that not only you can play, you can coach, you can be involved in the game in all facets?
Dream Big opened up so many avenues, not just for me, but also the children that I've worked with, and also, I suppose, other colleagues who are part of the Dream Big Desi women. For me, growing up, I mean, I had a really, really liberal growing up. My parents always pushed us to do things, and I think it was just me in myself thinking, oh no, I can't do a sport, it's a boy thing, I'm not going to get anywhere with it. But they've always pushed me, even now, like I'm nearly 40 years old, they still push me to follow my dreams. But I think with Dream Big Desi Women has opened up a lot of eyes, in terms of young girls thought they couldn't do a sport, not sort of thinking outside of the box. Hearing someone else saying that we're just gonna get married once we finish school and that's it, and I'm like, is that what you want though? And they're like, no. And the thing is, having that mentor to sort of tell you their life experiences to now life experiences, I think has helped them a lot. And sort of I've got Dream Big to thank for as well, because I didn't know my own potential until I went down this journey. And I think until you do something which is completely out of your comfort zone, you don't realize how what's the word I'm looking for? Sort of how much you are actually able to do something without sort of thinking twice about it. Because I was always one that was like, shall I not? And that is what I have always said to the children that I work with. Don't be afraid to make a decision, don't follow others. But having such a big support network with Dream Big has been amazing. And even when we went down to the summer party in the summer at Lord's, it was brilliant to just connect with all of these wonderful ladies that have got so many amazing skills, even though we all do the same thing, but we all bring something different to the table, which I think is really lovely. So I think Dream Big has been an amazing journey for me. I wish I'd got in sooner, to be honest with you.
And just what Georgie was saying there about, the cultural differences and stuff like that, I think it's so important that you are a coach, because we talk a lot on this podcast and a lot in general about you have to be it, you have to see it to be it. And I think you being a coach, and especially in cricket where it's viewed predominantly as a white sport and coaches are all white, it's so great that you and Dream Big are able to sort of break those barriers down and be those icons that someone like I can look up to.
Absolutely. And I think that's the thing. Growing up, I didn't see someone who looked like me. And I think that's what a lot of children now are like. I've had it before from a few of the kids, but you're Indian, miss. And I'm like, yeah. I'm like, I know. They're like, but we don't see this. I'm like, well, I said, you are going to start seeing it now. And I think it's really important to sort of have that balance, because I've got loads of role models that I looked up to when I was younger, because I think, you know what, when you're children, you don't sort of see things the way as we do now. And when I was growing up, I didn't look at sort of caste, creed or color or whatever. It was always a case of, oh, that's my role model, they are amazing, I want to be like that person. But I think now, and I think it is really important, that cultural awareness is a really major thing at the moment. And I think a lot of families don't realize that their children have got that potential, but they just keep it to, no, this is what's going to happen and that's it. They're too scared to sort of come out of those boundaries. And it may be because of, in the past, whatever used to happen then, but we all have to grow. And that's what I said to a lot of parents when I was working at the school, that you need to encourage them. And even if they are girls or boys, it doesn't matter. That encouragement is really important, because you don't want them to get down the line, sort of like a few years down the line, they're like, well, you didn't let me do this, you stopped me from doing that. And I was like, and it's not fair. I was like, they need to experience life for themselves. And I said, even if they are at such a young age, I said, but sport is a good thing. Because a lot of parents do think, oh, no, you're not going to do that because you're a girl. And I heard it with my own ears as well. So I think in terms of culture is a really big thing. And I think it's just really important for parents to sort of grow with the time, especially with their children, because their children are the future. I mean, we're not going to be around forever, but they're still going to be here when we're not. And I think it's their future that we're doing this all for, so that they get those opportunities equally, and they don't have to go through what many people have gone through in terms of like not being able to play on a certain cricket team or a football team. So I think it is really important that as culture, we do need to sort of keep that momentum going, that every culture can be involved in everything. And it doesn't matter where you're from, what religion, what background you come from, we're all one at the end of the day. And I love that about cricket, because it's such a lovely game that there could be two teams, but you could be sitting next to someone on the opposition, but you can have a laugh and a joke with them whilst the game's going on, which I think is really nice. So yeah, I think going forward, it is just really important. And I think Dream Big has opened up that avenue for a lot of this stuff that has been going on sort of in the past, to bring it now to the future, that no, we are all as one and we're going to do this together. So yeah, I hope that answered that.
And what do you find is the most rewarding part? It's probably quite hard to pick just one. What are your top two most rewarding parts of being involved and what you do in your roles?
So I think for me, the most important thing is to see the smiles on those children's faces, knowing that they've bowled right, they've got a wicket, or they've done really good fielding and batting. I think just that involvement of seeing them go from week 1 to week 8 and absolutely nailing the basics, and at the end saying, I've done it. I think it's just amazing seeing that development. That's the one thing. But I think the second thing is just being able to give my time back to the community and these children. I mean, they don't know me from like the first day. It's only during that 8-week period they get to know me. So being able to give back to them is the most amazing thing, and I'll keep giving as long as I can.
I also wanted to ask, you mentioned earlier that you had some of the Trent Rockets, I believe it was Catherine Bryce and Abby Freeborn, who came down and did like a coaching session with the kids. What was that like for you? And what was it like for the kids to sort of, be coached by these established players, and as well as Scottish captain Catherine Bryce.
Literally, the children were over the moon when we told them that there's 2 players coming down. They were like, wow. And when they saw them walking, they're like, Miss, they're ladies. I was like, yeah, I was like, they're ladies. I was like, you're gonna like get to ask them questions and actually train with them. It was a brilliant day. The kids absolutely enjoyed it. They asked so many questions at the end as well, which was really nice. And to hear that feedback from Catherine and Abby as well, it was just lovely to see that, and the questions that were asked as well. I think it was a really proud day for the girls because they've never been involved in something so big. For that to happen was amazing for them, and I'm really glad they got to do that. But yeah, it was a brilliant day to have both of them down that day, and they showed their bowling skills, batting. They played with the kids, so we did a game sort of towards the end, which was really nice.
And what does it mean for the community as a whole to have programs like this? And, you know, can it then expand into other aspects of community life?
I think it can. I think because there's so many different clubs which do this, and I've been involved in 3 separate ones, but as a community, I think because then the word gets around, there's more new ones that are popping up, and I think that's really nice because I was involved in one of the new ones in Nottingham, which was really nice. It was on a Sunday morning, and again it was the Asian community. They've actually got like an Indian community centre, and they got the children involved from around that area, and the children that actually attend any other sort of cultural things that happen. But as a community, we've actually brought in other cultures as well. So it's not just that Indian community part of that. We've brought in other cultures, which is really nice. And I think that's one of the things which are really important, that it doesn't have to just be that certain community. It's everyone, it's open to everyone. And I think when the word gets around, people start finding out, and then they're messaging to say, can we be part of the next cohort? Can we be part of the next cohort? So that is really nice that the word has got around and we're able to offer this. So yeah, I said in that respect, I think as a whole community, I mean, especially in Nottingham, it's been really nice to actually have that cross community chats, and they do like different sort of, if they've got a day going on, we'll try and get all stars and dynamos sort of set up, but a lot of people do know about it, which is really nice because we've had a couple of things that have gone on where I've been sort of involved in doing cricket on the side. So there was something in Arnold, it was like a little fair, and we had an all stars and dynamo thing set up, and then we had parents come in with their children, and they took sort of like a contact to find out where their nearest club was. So I think in that respect, the community is really good in that way, because we're promoting the Dream Big project as well as children being able to play cricket, but parents can get involved as well. So as parents, you can volunteer, you can come down, you're having a bit of fun with your child, which is really nice to see. So I think the community spirit is there. It's just about getting everyone involved, and just not certain groups, it's everyone. So,
and Dream Big sort of spearheaded in a way the likes of Saka and the ACE program, and now we're seeing more and more diversity in cricket. So how pleasing must it be for you to not only be part of Dream Big, but to also, you know, sort of in a way help inspire these sort of avenues for these kids to go down now if they do wish to pursue a career in cricket.
It's amazing to see this, because like I said, when I was growing up, you didn't see it, but seeing it now, the diversity is brilliant, and I think it's helped a lot of children understand that we can do something like that. And hearing that feedback from the children and hearing them talk about sort of the cricket and seeing like all these different, like for example, the 100's got so much diversity in it, and hearing the kids talk about it, because I know it was a new thing, not everyone was like, oh no, not sure about it, but literally hearing the kids say, oh, it's like IPL, miss, and I'm like, yeah, it is. But then they say it's really nice to see a mixture of teams, and it's not just one sort of cultural background, it's everyone. So I think it's really nice to hear that from the children, and I'm actually really glad that we have those conversations, because it's not always been a conversation, but hearing it now, and they're like even my girls, they're like, Who was it? What was his name? Shamsi. So they were so excited when he took his shoe off and like started like doing his dial. They loved it, and I think the 100 is what is helping bringing these kids into this and seeing that diversity, which is lovely. So yeah, I couldn't be happier with the way that children are interacting about the 100 and cricket, because sort of a few years ago I'd never have sort of even hear my own children talking about cricket the way they do. And then you've got the little cards as well, the 100 game cards that they like swap over with their friends. So I think that has helped as well in this whole sort of the diversity of it and children just enjoying it. And I think this has helped pan their future now, because they know that the 100's coming every year now and they're going to see these players. And I think that's really helped them to enjoy the game as well as understand the game and also see that diversity.
And for you, obviously, you've been involved in so much throughout the time you've been involved in this setup, but what is next and how can we make that next big step?
Oh, God. Well, I do want to go on to my level 2 of coaching. I want to go as far as I can with that, because if I've made a difference now, I can carry on making a difference for years to come. And I think because I'm just so passionate about it, and with Dream Big being my biggest sort of platform for it as well, it's just rewarding to be able to see this through. And I think hearing from the last 4-week cohort that I did, they said that we wanted you from the start, but I wasn't available. So hearing that, it just makes me want to do more and more. Because then the kids were asking, oh, is Harpreet going to be there? And like they were like, unfortunately, she's not. So hearing that they wanted me to come back, and that just makes me want to drive this even further. And I do want to carry on coaching. Like I said, for as long as I can, I will do it. So I think that's what's next for me. But in terms of the children, I'll carry this on for them. Whenever they need these programs, I've already said to my mentor, I was like, tell me when the next ones are. So yeah, I think it's just taking this forward, driving it as we are, promoting it as we are, because so many children are involved. Parents are really enjoying that as well. And I think this is the future that we just need to carry on driving forward. We need this. We need more children in sports, and we need more women in sports as well. So it's just driving it forward as we are.
And how do you use your role at the ECB as recreational cricket administrator to expand this, like beyond Nottingham and the sort of central hubs of this, but to the whole country?
Well, the thing is, because Dynamos is offered as so, there's like so many sort of layers of cricket. Obviously, you start off with your Dynamos, your All Stars, and then you go into sort of like under 11s, under 15s, under 18s, and then you've got works it up to sort of first class players. And obviously that's what we see on TV. But I think in terms of that drive, because it's still kept alive and we've got the recreational side of it, I think that is what helps a lot in terms of making sure that the clubs are doing what they should be, bringing in new sort of like new children. So when they get to that certain point, they'll move on, and then you've got the next cohort that will come in. Because it's the same with Dynamos. Like I did the first lot, and then when I did the second one, it was a new band of children, and those that were at the last cusp of it, they went on to Dynamos. So starting off with that, but I think that's always going to be there, which I think is great, because that will give them the basics, and then they'll go on to the next stage. So I think having that recreational admin side to it, because I see them that side of it, but I get to see the coaching side as well. So I think that's helped me a lot in terms of how to promote the next sort of cohorts, etc. So I'm quite grateful that I've got the role that I'm in to then be able to use that as part of coaching as well. It sort of ties in quite well to understand both sides of it.
And do your own daughters get involved at all with the Dream Big and the sessions, or are they just like very supportive from the sidelines?
No, they actually are. They started off with All Stars last year. So a few sessions that I did on Victoria Embankment in Nottingham, they were there. And then this year they went into Dynamos last year as well, sort of like towards the end of the summer. This year they've been part of Dynamo, so they've done an 8-week course with me. They thoroughly love it. My older twin wants to do Red Bull, but I was like, you're not at that level yet. So just trying to find a club now because she wants to take it seriously. The younger twin, she's like, I'm not sure at the moment. So I think she might choose a different sport. But yeah, my older twin is like, I want to do cricket. So I was like, okay, that's fine. So yeah, they love it though, even to watch. They went to their first international match, which was in England versus India at Trent Bridge. They absolutely loved it. They were so excited. And I think that's what makes cricket so fun, because the atmosphere, the people, just in general, like it's so busy and you've got music. And I think, when the little thing goes on, they love that and they do it themselves. It's quite funny. But yeah, they love it. So who knows? One of them might end up being a Trent Rocket one day.
It's funny that they like to imitate that trumpet. That's the one thing I dislike about the cricket, that bloody trumpet.
Absolutely.
Like, and now it's like evolved to the rugby league, and it just drives me insane. But that's what you were saying, Harpreet. You want to make cricket fun and exciting.
You do. Absolutely. And I think the thing is, you can't put that pressure on young children at that point when they're still learning. It's the same with when you're at school, when you're learning to sort of write. You don't put that pressure on, but you can show the basics of how to do that handwriting. So in that respect, same. You want it to be fun for them, but you don't want to sort of say to them, no, you need to throw the ball like this. You just show them, and you let them get on with it, because practice makes perfect. And that's what we tell them, that you don't have to be so serious, because there are some children that will be like, no, I need to get this right. I need to get this right. But it's all about making that fun and enjoying it.
And I think that's so much what sport is about. There's no point going into something if you're not going to enjoy it in the first place. So that's where Dynamos and All Stars really, they sort of hook you, because you go, you enjoy it, and then you develop without even realizing it, because you're having so much fun making new friends and learning a new skill.
Absolutely.
Well, since you got involved and have seen more of the cricket world, what is the biggest change that you've seen?
In the game or myself?
Both.
Okay, I'll start off with me. I've seen a change in myself in terms of understanding sport and enjoying it. Because when I was younger, I hated sport. I wasn't a sports person, just sort of played cricket here and there, but hated any other sport. So I think for me, it's opened my eyes in terms of enjoying it and having that fun. And I think, had I not gone down this route, it would have been a sort of a back shelf thing. I wouldn't have thought anything of it. But now it's at the forefront and I really enjoy it. So even sort of like at home, the kids want to play in the garden, we'll have a quick game. Just a bit of quick cricket. But yeah, no, it's brilliant. So I think for me, it's brought my confidence up. And also to sit and actually watch a game that I understand. So I think in that respect, just confidence mainly with me. But in terms of the game, change has come around because of the fact that we're seeing more women in football. In cricket, not football, in cricket, but also football, and seeing lots of women in different sports. But I think with cricket, it's just been amazing to see the teams over the sort of like the 100. Like I was lucky enough to go to the promo in London, and I got to meet some of the players there. So I think there has just been such a brilliant change in terms of new sort of thought systems, diversity, and just seeing a real mixture of people. They've all come from different backgrounds. I mean, some are from abroad, some are from here, but it's just so lovely to see that change. And I think going forward, that is going to be the main thing, because we're going to have many different cultures, many different sort of diverse backgrounds. And I think that's our future for sport. And I think cricket has already done it.
So Dream Big is obviously inspiring Desi women to get involved in cricket, all different levels, coaching, playing, all that. what else can come from something like this? You know, who else can learn from these kind of things? Can it go into rugby, football, tennis? You know, I guess the world's your oyster at this point.
I think so. I think Dream Big Desi Women could actually do this with any sport. And it because of the fact that, like, this is from example from obviously watching the ladies play the England match football. If we can get that sort of result, why not? Why can't Dream Big go into something like football, rugby, tennis? I think it's a thing, a group that can do all sports, not just cricket. I think it can go further than what we see at the moment. It's been such a success with cricket, so why not the rest? And I think it would be amazing if it did go far. I really do think it would. Maybe that's something I need to say to Shruti.
And with the South Asian Action Plan sort of being in place for 4 years and with Dream Big Desi Women, is there, if there was a way to somehow extend it, what would that mean? Because obviously Dream Big is such a life-changing experience. It seems like such a shame to sort of just end it after 4 years, so to speak.
I know. And I only came in last year and I said to Shruti and Hina, I was like, please, can we just extend it? It would be amazing if it was extended, and I'd be over the moon. Even though, like, there obviously people say, oh, but it's coming to an end. I'm like, yeah, but that doesn't mean that we've stopped. But I it would be a dream come true if it did extend, because there are other avenues that can be visited then. And I think that would be amazing to see happen. So I don't know. Like I said, I'll mention it to Shruti and Hina, see if they would. But it would be amazing because of what it has meant to me. That could go further afield with so many other South Asian ladies, to actually extend it and get more on board.
And a friend of the pod, Naomi Dattani, who's also been on and done a little bit of work with Dream Big. What is she like to sort of, speak to about this and like bounce ideas off of? So we just kind of want to know what Dats is like.
She's amazing. I met her at the summer party, and what an absolute inspiration. Just hearing her story of how she started, from where she started to where she is now. It was brilliant, and what a humble person. She's so down to earth, and she's really positive about ladies and children and girls coming into sport. I think she's a role model in herself. And when my daughters said to me, when I told them that I'd met her, they're like, oh my God, how did you meet her? So to actually hear from them, because they've got her on one of their cards, they were like, but she plays for London Spirit. And I'm like, yeah, she does. But it was amazing to meet her. She's inspirational in terms of her journey as a cricketer, and she's not given up. She said she had the same sort of thing, like, why are you playing cricket for, etc., etc. But hearing her just carry on and be passionate about it is brilliant. So I think, again, she's another role model that has been amazing in this whole project as well. Same with Harp's Core, her journey as, I mean, I know she's a presenter, but just hearing her story of wanting to do things and giving back to the community as well, and them both telling their story that you can do whatever it takes to do what you want. You just have to dream big. And that's exactly what is true. It's just in that thing, dream big.
That sounds like quite a good place to finish. Alex, have you got anything else to add on that one? So we like to keep it lighthearted as we come towards the end. I don't know why I'm talking in this voice. Anyway, so we like to end on a bit of a fun note that isn't my disastrous dating life. So just a bit about you. Normally we go on cricket ones, but I'm going to go with, okay, so what is your favourite cocktail? I'm starting with that.
I would have to say a porn star martini.
Oh, I knew I liked you.
I mean,
question: do you shot the prosecco or do you pour it in?
I pour it in.
Oh, okay, yeah. I got judged for doing that.
Really?
Yeah.
Are you meant to shot the prosecco?
Apparently so, but like, Why is that a thing?
No, I pour it in.
Yeah, extra bubbles, all about that.
Don't ask me. I've never had one, so it's not my go-to cocktail. I must admit. I go for one that I probably shouldn't mention on this podcast. So,
Is it
or
a
a
sex on the
woo-woo.
beach?
Yeah,
A woo.
I either go
That
for
sounds like something on the Sims game. If there was anyone you could play cricket with or against, who would it be?
Oh God. I would, if it was anyone, I'd have to say Catherine Bryce.
To be fair, she is great. We've had her on
She's
the
brilliant.
podcast. She's fantastic. I spent a lot of time with her at Fairbreak, and she's just such good fun.
She is.
great
She's
human,
brilliant.
a proper role model, great captain, and a really good cricketer.
Oh God, she is. She is.
Yeah. I'll give you that one. You can have Catherine Bryce.
what would be your go-to item at a standard village cricket tea? And I'm talking like, brownies or pizza, not a spoon like Wongy thought.
Oh God, what would be my go-to? Pims.
I love that. Imagine that, just rocking up to the outfield like pissed on Pims.
You know what? That is proper cricket, though.
Do you know what? Every time we go, it's always a Pims. I will always have a Pims.
Yeah, it just takes the edge off.
It does.
You're coming after me. If there was one thing you could say to your younger self, what would it be?
Don't be afraid to dream.
Okay, last Netflix series you binged.
The Crown.
I'm only on episode 4. I'm a bit behind.
Favorite cricket ground you've been to?
Lords.
Nice. And what was their Pim's price like?
Oh.
Be on the floor, Georgie. Be on the floor for the prices, not the drinks.
True.
There's a reason they invented hip flasks, isn't there?
At Lords, you can technically get away with like sneaking in like more than one bottle of wine if you do it craftily by having like a bag inside a bag.
Yeah, or you get one of those bracelets that fits a whole bottle of wine in.
You get a bracelet. I feel
You get bracelets that fit wine in them that are like a hip flask. You can also get bags that fit a bottle of wine and have a little tap.
Wow.
I'm not an alcoholic, I promise.
I need to go shopping with you, Georgie.
Yeah, no. I spend a lot. TK Maxx is very good for all of these things. Anyway, we move on. If not cricket, what?
Does it have to be a sport?
No. Could be life.
If it wasn't cricket, then photography. I used to be a wedding photographer many years ago, so it's still a hobby. So yeah, if it wasn't cricket, then it would have been photography.
That's really cool. Do you photograph at the cricket?
I do, but I don't take my big camera with me now. It's just my phone.
It's a big old thing to lug around, isn't it?
It is.
Favorite type of music to dance to on a night out? What's your go-to?
My go-to. To be honest, I like old 80s.
And your go-to karaoke song. What's your go-to karaoke?
Well, to be honest with you, I actually did a karaoke song on holiday, and it was Robbie Williams' Angels.
Oh,
that's not that
old. Singing.
That always makes me think of like year 5 discos, and they would suddenly turn it on and be like, "It's time for a slow dance," and we'd be like, "We're 10. This is weird."
Well, that was my go-to on holiday, but I also did Rick Astley, "Never Gonna Give You Up."
Classic.
You see, I'm an ABBA girl.
ABBA's good. I like ABBA.
I'm a Queen gal, so I probably would sing something like Bohemian Rhapsody, which I know that is a big task.
That's great because you can do all the voices.
Yeah. Or Don't Stop Me Now. Like
I love Don't Stop Me Now. Yeah.
Song. Yeah. Another one for me is House of Pain's Jump Around.
Oh yeah.
I don't have the energy
for some reason. I know the entire rap too. I don't remember why or where I learned it, but it's
I know the first bit, and then I'm just like, oh, okay, I'm not going to go into it.
I'll leave it to Georgie.
Yes.
in that voice, obviously not. But what would be your last meal?
What would be my last meal? Okay, I'm a bit of a Italian lover, so Pizza Express
With dough balls?
with dough balls.
Nice. And then pudding?
The chocolate fudge cake with a scoop of ice cream. That is my favourite go-to every time.
God, I'm just getting hungry thinking about that.
Yeah, there's Pizza Express up the road from me. I think there was free
God.
dough balls if you signed up to their mailing list.
I think I spend like 90% of my day thinking about food. It's a real bad habit.
It could be worse. You could be thinking about really terrible things. So
Yeah.
True.
True.
Food is good.
yeah. Summer or winter?
Oh God. I like both. Just because summer is just lovely. It's nice and warm. You can wear your summer clothes. And in the winter, you can just wrap up warm. So you're coming from the cold and it's really cozy at home. You just get a blanket and sit down on the sofa and just watch whatever.
What are you watching at the moment?
I'm not actually watching anything at the moment, apart from EastEnders.
I honestly don't know what's going on in EastEnders anymore.
Oh, I'm loving it at the moment.
Who knows?
Are you? I haven't watched it in years, and I sometimes think maybe I'll get back into it, and then I'm like, oh my God, no.
Yeah, too much time has passed, I find. Harpreet, who is your favourite cricketer that you've seen live? It can be male, it can be female. Go for it. But it can't be Catherine Bryce.
Oh, okay. That I've seen live, I would have to say, if it's male, I'm gonna go for, but he doesn't play cricket anymore. Can I have that still?
Right,
Yeah.
Yeah, MS Dhoni.
Oh,
fair enough. You can have that.
And trying to think female. I want to say Catherine Bryce again, but I can't have Catherine. I'm going to say Abby because she's really good as well.
Fair.
And I've met her in person as well.
That always helps. If you're looking for something to watch, actually, we were talking about it yesterday at the screening. There's a new BBC series that it's called The Great Indian Cricket Dream.
Oh,
And I think there's 3 episodes, The Women in Blue, and it's along the same kind of lines, obviously as the film. But
brilliant.
It's on iPlayer, so I highly recommend.
Thank you for that, Georgie.
I was talking to Archie Caliano, is that how you pronounce his surname? She's from the BBC Diversity, and she's helped produce it and get all involved in it and do interviews. And she was saying it's so worth watching. So that's your homework from.
That is. Thank you. I will have a look at that.
Yeah, it's on my list, definitely.
Brilliant.
So there you go. Have you seen the Matali film?
I haven't. No, I haven't seen it. I need to.
Alex, have you?
Not yet. I was meant to go yesterday, but because I had it was a no sleep week last week at work, I was like, I can't get out of the bed. I just can't. I can't leave the house. I was like, I'm probably going to fall asleep on the train and end up somewhere I shouldn't. So it's like, maybe not.
Yeah, I literally was like, shall I go? And I was like, I can't, I've got too much to do.
Guys, there was free popcorn and Milky Ways.
Okay, making us jealous now.
And little children-sized Buxton bottles. When you send your kid off with a packed lunch, we had a box with a Buxton, a Milky Way, not Milky Bar, and some popcorn. And Dats was there. She gave us a little talk, so that was really cool.
Oh, Bill.
Yeah, it was a great film. I think I'd watch it again.
I definitely need to watch it. Definitely.
And then obviously there was the Julian Goswami one, which they were filming in Durham, and I was like, how does this look like India?
I understand if you went to or somewhere, or Manchester.
I actually think ages ago someone got in touch with me to be in one of these films. It must have been the Matali one because it was pre-pandemic.
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I don't think I can fly out to India because I'm actually not good enough to be in this. I haven't played cricket in a while, so I was like, I'd be really, But loads of the girls were in it. I was talking to a bunch of the Northern Diamonds girls have played in this one for the Goswami film, and Saba, who was out of Fairbroke and stuff. So
Okay.
yeah, they got some good talent in it. It's gonna be
Brilliant. Brilliant. I'll definitely need to watch it.
Is that the one with Coley's wife as Goswami?
Yeah. But it's really interesting stuff like this, like how long actual Goswami spent, with her on her action. And the same with Mitali. Apparently spent hours and hours and hours teaching the actress how she plays cricket,
Oh, wow.
Rather than just hit a cover drive. It's like, this is how she does it, and it looks like her. Because obviously, like, Goswami's got such a what's the word? Unique action. Yeah, exactly. But I'm just rambling now. I feel like we've probably kept you for long enough, so I'll take a pause here and then you can cut out this random bit, Alex, and I'll finish as well. So Harpreet, it's been absolutely amazing to have you on Women's Cricket Chat today. You're just an inspiration to all of us, really. You just threw yourself in, you got involved, and think of all those lives that you've changed just through cricket. And it's amazing to hear everything you're doing. A very deserving awards winner, and hopefully make a difference at the BBC. Will come up trumps again, and you're going to need a bigger trophy cabinet. It's been so fab to have you on. Thank you for taking time to talk to us post holiday. I know we like to try and combat the holiday blues for you, so I hope we've done that. And now you can go away and watch some BBC documentaries on yet more cricket.
Thank you so much both for having me. It's been lovely speaking to you both, and just really nice to share my story, and hopefully I'll manage to change some more lives. But yeah, thank you so much both, Alex and Georgie. It's been a pleasure having this chat with you, and you've taken the holiday blues away.
Just quickly, Harpreet, where can our listeners find out about you and all the amazing work that you're doing, and about Dream Big, if they do want to get involved in those final few months, and just, they want to just check in with the trailblazer that you are?
So if you do want to get involved in Dream Big, it's ecb.co.uk/Dream Big. And if you want to find out more about me, there's been sort of interviews on the BBC. You can also find me on Instagram, and I'm happy to speak to anyone if they wanted to find out more. But yeah, I'm open to sort of giving any advice. And if you're unsure of sort of like, if you're thinking of going into cricket, you don't need to know anything. You can just learn it as you go. So just keep dreaming big, and you'll get where you want to be.
Massive thanks to Harpreet for coming on and being a guest on the podcast. It was really interesting to hear about her story into cricket, and how that despite the Dream Big Desi winning, perhaps being up after 4 years, she still wants to continue on this journey and be a coach and be a voice for kids. And we really champion that and love that on the pod. And to all our listeners, if you want to keep up to date with everything that we're doing, you can follow us on Twitter at WCricketChat, on Instagram at Women's Cricket Chat, and if you want to give us a like on Facebook, we are Women's Cricket Chat. If you'd like to give our personal Twitters a follow, then it's at HannahT1194, at GeorgieHeath27, at CassieCoombs98, at Mehika Varshni, and I'm at Alex Jane Pereira. This has been Women's Cricket Chat. Tune in next time.